One voice rises from the sands, carried by wind, powered by spirit, and echoing with truths. Where the weird, the wild, and the wondrous can find their signal. Dust off that dial and tune in to the frequency. Live from the Sonoran Desert, it's Is This Why I Get in Trouble? With your host, Andrea Garcia.
Hello, this is Andrea Garcia. Welcome back to episode number 8 of Is This Why I Get in Trouble? A podcast by me, the person that literally just said her name, Andrea Garcia. Welcome back, episode number 8. We're going to focus on animals, the animal kingdom. And before you press pause or like next, rude, it's okay. I was never a person who understood animals because I grew up in the city. Also, I didn't have cable, so I didn't have Animal Planet. But you know, I don't know if you ever had any of people like that. Growing up, when I would go over other people's houses, they always had Animal Planet on. And I was like, that's nice. That's like a nice thing. You know, like a nice family thing. They must be a nice family. What's that like? No. If you are part of my family, please stop listening. Thank you very much. Anyway. Yeah, I didn't have cable growing up. So there's a lot of things there's a lot of movies that I have no clue about. And everyone's like, you don't know about this? You don't know about that? No, I don't know about those things. Anyway, I went to the zoo today. And I had another escapade with a bird. And so later on, you will hear me singing to a bird or to you, whoever you think, just take it, okay? We then talk about spirit animals and how people believe animals in that moment, characteristics of that animal are their spirit. And then I get into how I used to ask people, what is your spirit animal during interviews? And they would get like freaked out. Although I was just trying to ascertain their creativity. Not everything is a trick question. Sometimes people just want to get to know you. Okay? Then we get into your comments because you guys got a lot of them. Got a lot of comments and I'm so happy for it. I'm happy you guys are enjoying the podcast. It's really nice to hear and receive wonderful things like put the volume lower. I'm kidding. Listen, at least you're listening, right? So thank you. Starting us off with Andrea at the zoo. Reid Park Zoo in Tucson, Arizona. Forever fun, forever wild. I haven't been to the zoo in forever. I think the last time I went to the zoo, I was like maybe in like the 5th grade or something. What zoo did I go to? Yeah, we went to like the Bronx Zoo. I went to the Bronx Zoo and another one in like Philadelphia, around there. And then a bunch of aquariums as like field trips and stuff. So I don't really have too much of zoo experience. But today I said, you know what? I'm going to the zoo. I don't know what about it, but I just said I needed to go to the zoo because I'm feeling a little wild. I'm feeling a little cooped up myself. Okay. It's 103 degrees today. Actually, I don't know. It's like 100. It was 100 degrees today and I was sweating. I was sweating profusely. I got there a little bit late and they close at 2 because it's so hot and the animals have to go inside. So thank you, animals, for staying out. Now, couple encounters that I want to talk about. Since school has already begun, all of the kids are not there. Okay? I don't mind kids. I like them. Bring them around. Have a good time. Go over there. That's how I feel. Go play. There's a ball. Look at that. That's what I do. So today was like $3 day, right? And I was like, hell yeah, like let's go to the zoo. Like barely anyone was there. Tourists, maybe, retired folk, whoever, you know what I mean? But like barely anyone's there. And it's 100 degrees in a zoo. Are you kidding? So we're walking around. I'm walking around. I went by myself, looking at the flamingos. You know what? I will just say this. I was in awe because once you get into the zoo, it's like a live animal right in front of you. And you're like, whoa, that's so cool, right? Flamingos, bears from South America, giraffes, elephants, rhinoceroses. When I saw that rhino, I freaked out. I was like, oh my God. I did not know they had a rhino. I didn't do any research prior to of what animals were going to be there. I like to be surprised. And when I turned the corner and there was a rhino, I gasped. I went, oh my God, yes. I don't know what it is about a rhino, but something in me came out. I was like, yes, I wanted to pet it. I formed a relationship and a bond with this rhino. I don't understand why, but it is what it is, right? And I sometimes don't remember that I'm a lesbian, as we know. And what that means is that, not that I am a misandrist, it's such a stupid word, but because you can't be a misandrist in a patriarchal world. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, moving on. You can't. It's like saying reverse racism. Are you serious? You sound dumb. So what happens, or what my tendency really is that I forget men are there because they're not centered into my life. Fine, whatever. Not that I have a problem, just they're not there. So I have something that I call mentistic. Mentistic is like an autistic person, but when it comes to men, right? I just am like, okay, there they are. When I talk to them, I'm like, okay, I don't have feelings. So I'm like, okay, I don't care. And this is not a bad way. It's very neutral. Extreme neutrality in the sense of, I'm not paying attention. And this is how quickly a situation for a woman can become predator-like. I see a beautiful feather outside of the rhinoceros cage. First of all, the rhino comes over to me. Okay, I am making eye contact with this rhino. I put the rhino to sleep. It's like, you know what? I'm taking a nap right here, right next to you. Asleep. But what I didn't realize, well, we'll get to that in a second. The rhino and me having a thing. I see right where the cage is, there is a feather. A peacock feather. And I'm like, oh yes, I'm gonna get that feather. Do not enter the enclosure, Andrea. Whatever you do not enter that enclosure, okay? So I'm like, okay, self, I'm not gonna enter this enclosure, don't you worry. But it's just out of reach, okay? So I'm like, how am I gonna get this peacock feather? I want it for my journal. I want it for just to have, okay? So I get like a twig, I get something. It's long enough. I have to bend over to go and get it underneath the enclosure. And in order to do that, I am wearing pants, okay? The kind that have a zip, the kind that have a button. I was feeling fancy and I said, I'm gonna wear pants with a zipper. Yeah, you know when that happens. And I saw this video where this man ripped his pants because he was doing like some sort of a bend. And I remembered that and I was like, oh, I can't rip my pants. So I am trying to unbutton my top button and unzip my pants. I am looking around who is here? There's families. So dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm thinking that family people equal family time. And I look over and there's this man with his, I don't know, there's a kid and I'm assuming his wife because they're the same age and they're pretty older. They're up there. I'm thinking normal people, like, cause I'm a normal person, right? And then I assume everybody else is normal. Wow. How wrong could I ever be? I'm looking over at him and he's just staring at me and I'm staring back at him. Like, at this point, you're making too much eye contact, okay? And I'm trying to unbutton my button. And I'm mouthing to him, what the F are you looking at? And he is looking at me. And then I'm trying to, I didn't think at the time he could see me until I realized he could. He could see what I was doing. And I am unbuttoning my pants. But not in a sexual way. But that doesn't matter, does it? And he is pointing over that his wife is here. Like he can't meet me right now. Are you kidding? Are you crazy? And I just mouthed like, go F yourself. And I unzipped my pants and I bent over, got the ostrich feather and was like, yes. Totally forgot that this man existed. And I'm taking out my journal. I'm putting the peacock. I put the peacock feather in the thing. I zip up my pants. I button them. And I'm like, yes, I got this feather. Lo and behold, he comes to the left-hand side of me and is just standing there, waiting to say something, lingering. And as soon as he comes over, the Rhino puts her fist, or what is it, like a hoof? She puts her hoof down and goes and looks at him. She already identified him and his behavior or his energy or his glare or his stare or whatever as a predator behavior. Although he is from across the way and she is right in front of me and pretending to take this nap, she already identified him as a predator and his energy towards me. And when he came to the left and then his family came to the right hand side of me, I'm just like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Just gonna stare at the Rhino. And the Rhino put her hoof down and started going, like get the F out of here. And then looks at him, puts her foot again, and she like tries to get up in the front and she's like, get out of here. And he did. He left. And I'm looking at this Rhino right now like, are you protecting me? Because I'm in love with you. Because that is hot. Oh no. This is why I get in trouble. Anyway, I don't know what kind of rhino this is until later I find out that this is a female rhino. And I'm like, hell yes. Hell yeah. Are you a lesbian? No. YABANGA is the name of the rhino. She is a southern white rhinoceros and she is 52 years old. Yabangoed Andrea. No. She felt territorial towards me. And I was kind of like, that's kind of hot. I'm not going to lie. Do you have a territorial rhinoceros? What? A rhino? Oh, come on. That is so cool. I kind of want a rhino now. Anyway. Kind of fell in love with this rhino, but had to move on, you know, not a person. So maybe in another life, Rhino. But I did get a sticker of her to always remember that moment because she clocked him. She clocked him. She knew. Him coming over, she knew. Wow. That is an animal instinct. to have. Anyway, YABANGA in Zulu means to thank and to save. So, what do they call the rhinos in politics? Hold on, let me Google it. Republican in name only. Oh, okay. Republican in name only. I don't know. Do I need a 52-year-old rhinoceros lady? I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. But maybe we shouldn't limit our dating pool. Maybe we should not limit what's going on, you know? Oh, I'm going to get the comments for this one. I'm going to get text messages saying, shut up. Get a rhino. But as I said before, I have never been an animal person. Like, for real, I've never truly been an animal person. I respect them. I love them. It's just I don't really think about them. So to have such a reaction to the rhino, as soon as I turned the corner, I was like, it was a very strange feeling because I just like felt super connected to this animal for no reason. And I'm like, huh? I was so confused. And then all of this transpired. So it was, I don't want to say meant to be for a reason, but hey, YABANGA. I'll always have YABANGA. Later, I then move on to I'm running around away from this man, okay? I move over to the aviary. And these people are so knowledgeable about these birds from Africa, from India. These birds are crazy. They are all over the place, going wild, eating nectar and just loving everything. So it was very, very lively and really beautiful, like these beautiful colored birds like I've never seen with these deep colors. And I learned a new word. When I asked the aviarian woman, she was like, oh, that's not quantum color. And I was like, what's quantum color? Quantum color, for everyone interested at home, is something I really just don't understand still at all. It's like quantum theory of color with like a bunch of different colors in it. So I was like, if you Google it, it's like chromodynamics. Quantum chromodynamics. What? That is a color. It's like when color is visible and it's green, red, blue, all at the same time. Okay. Here I am saying other words, and that's not even what they are. Chromodynamic. Wow, what are they going to come up with next? Also, if you go there, they have a bird called Justin Weaver. So, hey, you never know. I move on to the lion's den. And again, it's 100 degrees, so I'm sweating. Also, they don't give you a map. I don't know where I'm going, just walking around. So I'm not really sure what to expect next, other than the sign that says lion's den. I get to the window. The lion is asleep. When they say the lion sleeps tonight, they really mean it, okay? And taking a nap, literally snoring. After maybe 15, 30 seconds, I'm not even touching the glass. I didn't say anything. He looks exactly, like he just gets up and looks exactly where I am. Like he just knew. Boom, tracked. Wow. Completely asleep to exactly knowing where I am. Like he could feel my gaze, basically. Not that type of gaze. Because that's for YABANGA. Anyway, I'm looking at him. He clocks me and is like, she's not a threat. Looks me up and down, goes back to sleep. The lion sleeps tonight. 15, 30 seconds later, a guy, rough around the edges kind of guy with his kid, comes around the corner, like yelling at the kid. The lion instinctively just jumps up and is staring at him like, don't even come over here. It was wild to see this, because these animals are really having different reactions to different people and the energy that you bring to the situation. And this guy is not even paying attention to the lions. Like, he's walking right past it, and it doesn't matter. This lion already is like looking at this guy and dubbed him a threat. And I think it's so interesting that these animals are able to just be like, that they can just sense it. It's something. It's like, it's some sort of energetic frequency where they're like, this person could be, maybe, would be a threat. And that's incredible to see, because remember, there's nobody else in this zoo. It's 100 degrees, and he's only getting up if he thinks he needs to. It is 100 degrees, guys. I am sweating. I thought he was the only lion in the den, so I go around the corner and I'm like, by a garbage can, and I look over. There's a lioness sitting up this whole time, staring right at me. It's like making eye contact, staring right at me. She's about to come walk over. The lion gets right up and is like, no. She then hides. And I was like, whoa. That's sad. That's sad to see. Because he deems what is and what isn't a threat. And in the real world, I was like, wow, this was a perfect opener for hunting wives. Because it's so fascinating. It really is interesting to see. And you'll see why. I talk about it later. And I'm just thinking about it, like, he is in this moment territorial around his lioness, obviously. Even though I'm not doing anything. And the lioness is coming to me. And he put a stop to that real quick, let me tell you. And it was interesting to see that the rhino, again talking about this damn rhino, was territorial for me, in the sense that, like, I'm not even in this enclosure. I just met you. Are you sure you're not a lesbian? Because this is U-Haul behavior, YABANGA. Okay? This is U-Haul behavior. But I will get a U-Haul. But the lion's territorial manner put the lioness into a state of anxiety. That was the difference. Like, the rhino was like, damn, like, I don't know what a rhino sounds like. But in this instance, and it put me at ease, right? And the lion put the lioness into a state of anxiety. So I thought that was very interesting. But what do I know? I'm a human. Also, I am an adult. We are adults here, okay? And what I'm about to tell you is just... I didn't know women elephants women elephants in general had breasts. I did not know that. And I was like, have I never seen an elephant before? Or were they all male elephants that I've ever seen? Because this is a new type of elephant that I've seen with breasts. Big knockers. And I was like, wait, what? I put her to sleep too. What is it about me that is putting all of these, like, I don't know. Is it the pheromone? Oh, maybe I'm sweating a lot. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I was just sweating a lot. Ladies, calm yourselves, okay? This is a zoo, literally. There's a portion of me that's like, Andrea, don't put this on a podcast. But why not? It's the animal kingdom. It's what animals do. Why are we so afraid to showcase our animalistic side? Albeit whatever type of animal comes out. I don't know. This was a very interesting experience that I had at a zoo. It was very sexual. I'm not sure what happened. All I know is that this will be a very interesting session for me and my therapist, because maybe I uncovered a animalistic side to myself that I didn't know before. Just to clarify, because we live in a world where I need to really spell this out. I am not attracted to animals. Okay? A woman in leopard print? Absolutely. Yes. 100%. Period. End of sentence, right? But actual like zoophilia? No. Hard no. Period. Okay? There's a difference. That being said, at the zoo really helped me connect with my wild side. Okay? My inner animal, if you will. The woman inside of me that's unapologetically primal, that remembers seduction isn't always words or the thing that's in front of you, like having a fancy car or having a fancy whatever. You know what I mean? It's a feeling. And it's about instincts. And I don't want to have to tame that. The part that understands desire isn't meant to be civilized, and suppressing it goes against my nature. I need to express myself. If I'm unapologetically hungry, I should be able to savor the thrill of the pursuit of whatever it is I'm doing, to follow my instincts when the moment is now, and to never be ashamed of what I want or who I want it to be with. The zoo helped me. I can't believe I'm saying this. The zoo helped me connect to that animalistic nature. Watching how these animals responded to me gave me clarity on how people might see me, because we all wear facades and masks. Animals don't. So go to the zoo alone and notice how you interact with them, the animals. You might learn something raw and real about yourself. I will say that I'm reading F Like a Goddess by Alexandra Roxo, and it has helped me understand some things in terms of my sexual life and my sexual health, and how you have to take a very active role, obviously, in it, and piecing it together. And we shouldn't have shame when speaking about it, because only when there's shame speaking about things do things never get healed, do things never actually get better. And we all deserve to live a life that we enjoy, especially after dark. Like to pretend that this doesn't exist, that we live in some weird Puritan thing. That's why you have all this violent crime. That's why you have all this violent BS. That's why. That's why. It's artificial shame about weird stuff that doesn't make any sense. So I think that's why I'm kind of in this mode of thinking about animals and animalistic behavior, in the sense of how do I reconnect to that inner, my inner animal. I mean, if you're driving around, if you are out in a park, you're going to see a couple of animals, right? But if you go to the zoo, you're going to see these amazing animals that are closer to humans. I don't know what I'm saying. We're going to move on to the next topic now. Segment is lovingly dubbed, until I come up with a better word, Comments from the Peanut Gallery. I have gotten so many wonderful emails, texts, comments, reviews, whatever. I've just gotten so many nice words from all of you guys. I'm really happy about the amount of care that you guys are putting into your listenership, and you guys are taking this seriously. Okay, my listeners are taking their jobs very seriously. They're like, we are the audience and we're going to make sure this is good. And you know what? That's good. Hold me to a standard because I don't want to put out just any old thing. So here are the first comments from our listeners. Listener number 1 says, can you have a segment intro that is like, here are my life happenings before starting your segments? Why, listener number 1, are you talking about that time that I talked about my hair conditioner in between concentration camps? Is that is that what you're talking about? Yes, we can do that. I can have a segment that talks just about my life happenings. The issue that I always run into is that what is inspiration? Where are my muses? Muses and inspiration are everywhere for me. And so sometimes without knowing, when I'm telling a story, I'll devolve into another story. And for some reason, somehow, towards the end, it will wrap up and make sense. And sometimes I'm like, it made sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, oh well, no. But I will take that into account. Thank you very much. Listener number 2, when are you going to start interviewing people because you really like to hear yourself talk? Listener number 2, I love you, so I will not yell at you. What I have to say is that if you want to be a guest on this show, please come prepared with some topics and be interesting. I know you think you're already interesting, but be interesting for the show, not for me. So send me your topics, send me your ideas. I know I've reached out to a couple of you saying, hey, do you want to be on the show? And everyone's like, oh, I'm shy. I'm a shy little thing. Okay. You are shy. Alrighty. But there's nothing I can do about that. So if you want to be on the show, you can't be shy. So figure it out, okay? There we go. Also, we will be starting a video podcast. So this is an announcement to everybody that I already reached out to be on this show. If you don't want to be on video podcast and you're going to be shy on video, you better get your ass in here on the audio before we turn into video, because then you don't have any excuse. Then you're just never going to do it. So figure it out, okay? That is lovingly told to you. Listener number 3 said, can you put the background music lower when you're doing your intro because your voice is competing with the music? Of course I can do that. Thank you so much for that wonderful, wonderful production quality information. I appreciate that. See what I told you? Our listeners hold this podcast to an actual standard. And they're not going to accept just any nilly-willy. It's true. Listener number 4 said, the ending of the last episode, which is the concentration, interns at the internment camp, should have been the beginning. The monologue should have, the ending monologue should have been the beginning monologue. Okay. But did you write that? Yes, I did write that. I enjoy talking conversationally. I know that sometimes it might seem a little hopscotch, pitch potch. I don't know the right word. Where, we record this and then I have to go back in and re-record because then I get a more together idea. Then I have to come back in and get another idea, and then I'm going to start doing this monologue at the end of my final thoughts. The monologue is written at the end because it helps me give my brain some space to say exactly what I want to say. Because sometimes I lose some words in the interim. Listener number, what are we on, 5? Listener number 5 says, in regards to the Dr. Magma story, oh my God, the laughter thing also happened to me with the chiropractor. They also pulled my mother aside. I didn't think he was hot though. Is he no longer your doctor? Is that why he's no longer a doctor? Is that why you like, when I see you, you're like, ah, is that? That doesn't make any sense, but If I had video, you would see it, what I did. Anyway, this is an age-old question. Do we choose the doctor because they're good looking, or are they good looking because they're our doctor? Am I the only one that thinks that? I know that we're not supposed to choose people in their professions based on how they look. But you have to realize everybody's attractive and sexy in their own way. So maybe listener number 5, are you sure? Are you sure? Why were you so laughy? That's my question, because I know you and you don't laugh at anything. Why were you so laughy? That's what I want to know. I think you're lying. I think you're lying to yourself. And now you're telling me, and now I'm telling everybody, okay? Stop lying to yourself. All right. Thank you so much, listeners from the Peanut Gallery. I really appreciate it. Remember, it's free to leave a 5-star review about how much you love this podcast. Don't forget that, because I have a lot of comments here, but I don't have enough 5-star reviews. So send this podcast to anybody you know, any friends, like, comment, share. If you don't know anybody and you're having dinner alone, press play and keep me on repeat. All right, next segment. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for what's going on in my life. My life. So the other day, I was watering the trees in my backyard. We are having some plumbing or irrigation issues, and the trees are dehydrating due to some sort of, I don't know what the hell's going on, because this is my first year in a desert. I am watering this tree. This tree is the mesquite tree, also known as the lone cowboy tree. It starts off as an unassuming bush and then quickly turns into a very strong and sturdy tree that when you decide to use, or one of the things that I first learned when I moved down to the Southwest was if you're going to do any sort of bonfires or anything like that, it needs to be mesquite wood, not any other type of wood. And it's actually illegal to do any other chopping of any sort. So the only thing you're allowed to burn here is mesquite wood. So I thought that was really cool. It has like a very distinct smell to it. It's actually, it also looks different once you see furniture in mesquite wood. Anyway, that is a tidbit about the mesquite tree. It grows these like poppy, like, not poppy, it grows these peas. They're like peas in a pod. They're sweet. And so this tree is like the tree to know, right? In the desert. If you are a little bushling trying to grow, you want to grow next to one of these mesquite trees. Why? Because it provides sun. It provides shade. It provides shelter. It provides nutrients. And also, if you are an animal, you want to be hanging out by this tree. So this tree is it. So I'm like, I got to water this. Let's make sure this thing grows. Okay. I've got Michael Bublé on the background. He's playing. And all of a sudden, I'm just watering this tree because this is what I do on a Saturday morning. I am now very young. I'm still young at heart. This is what I do on a Saturday morning now that I'm in my mid-30s, and I like it. I appreciate it. Let's keep these trees going. So, I'm looking up into this bush. I see a yellow eye staring at me. And I said, okay. Now, here in the desert, you will get a lot of things staring at you. Some things animals, some things not. That's for you to decide which one is scarier. Maybe all of them, all the way around. And all of a sudden this little beak comes out. And if you know what a roadrunner looks like, a roadrunner is this really majestic type of animal that has like, it almost looks like it wants to be an ostrich, but is tiny. It's a tiny ostrich. It's like an ostrich peacock. That's how the best I can describe it. But also a pterodactyl. Look it up. A roadrunner. It's also that thing on Looney Tunes that would go beep beep. Remember that thing? And so they're all over. They're everywhere here. They are everywhere here. Crossing the road, roadrunner crossing. They will run out in the middle of the road and they'll run back out. They'll run out to run back in to run back out. Okay, I don't know, but they're really fast. So this was my first ever moment with a roadrunner where I'm like, are we having an emotional affair? What? So the roadrunner pops out of the tree. And it's curious, what the hell is this lady doing with this water? What is this water doing? And so I'm thinking it's about to go and, get some water. And it's looking a little apprehensive. It's not wanting the water. So I said, you know what? I'm going to sing to this thing. So Michael Bublé in the background, ladies and gentlemen. Love by Nat King Cole. So I start singing to it. L is wait, hold on. Let me see. What are the words? Now that I don't have it on, now I'm shy. Hello, can you hear me? So the roadrunner's coming closer, and I'm like, I got my microphone. No, I got my microphone now, but it's coming closer, and I'm still watering the thing, and it's apprehensive. It's scared. It doesn't want to get to the water, and I'm like, you know what? It's scared. And I go, L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. And so now the roadrunner is staring right at me. And it's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm Snow Whiting you. Okay? You remember Snow White when she would like start singing at the birds and they would all just show up and appear? Yeah, that's me right now. And I don't care because I want to see this bird get some water. But it's no longer going towards the water. It's like looking at me and it's like walking towards me, but its eyes are closing as it's walking like I'm like lulling it to sleep. V is very very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore can. And it's coming closer. It's coming closer. And now it's just standing right in front of me with its eyes closed, with its head tilted. Its tongue is sticking out. What is going on? Love is all that I can give to you, plus this water. Love is more than just a game for two. Drink some water. Two, love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love, this water was made for me and, well, it's really for you. You, and it's just sitting in front of me with its eyes closed and its tongue sticking out and its head cocked and it's like breathing like and I'm like, oh my god, what is it? What's going on? And all of a sudden a giant truck comes barreling by in the background and wakes up my little roadrunner, scares it to death, and it runs away. Oh man. Anyone that you adore can. I was sad. But I said, you know what? I moved on to the next tree. Started watering that tree. And I said, maybe something will come out of this tree. L is for the way you look at me. And here comes the roadrunner. O is for the only one I see. And it does it again. And you know what it did this time? E is even more than anyone that you adore can. And it comes by, comes in front of me. At what point did it do this? I think I said to it, love is that all I can give to you. And you know what it did? It dropped a piece of bark in front of me. It gifted me bark. Are you serious? That's so romantic. That's so romantic. What have you guys gotten me lately? No. But a roadrunner gifted me bark. And then it ran away. I am now in an emotional affair with a roadrunner. This is a story that I will not be telling my psychiatrist, but I will be telling all of you. Okay? Please don't tell anybody else. Anyone that you adore can. Listen, why don't you just sing? You know, the theme of whatever the story was is whatever you're doing, just freaking sing. If you think you can't sing, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can develop it, and I'm sure you are going to be doing just a great job at it. So sing your heart out. And you never know who's going to hear you and gift you a piece of bark. Is this true love? Maybe. You know, this is not an arranged marriage. This is an arranged bark. I don't know. I don't have any jokes for that one, but you get what I'm saying. It left me bark, guys. Come on. Sing to the birds. You go out there and you sing to those animals. You see what they leave you. I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would leave you something beautiful. Let's get into spirit animals. Do you know what a spirit animal is? Do you know who your spirit animal is? I do believe in the energy and power of the animal kingdom. They've been here longer than we have. They figured out a lot more things and evolved a lot other ways than we have. So I still look to the majesty of the animal kingdom, the wisdom of the animal kingdom, the hierarchy, understanding how everything kind of just flows within each other, and how it all pretty much needs each other in order to still survive. And every day I hope, or like I put out into the universe for a different type of animal to come my way. So this way I can understand maybe what the universe is trying to tell me in some sort of sign, you know? Some days it's a roadrunner, other days it's a cardinal, other days it's a dove, other days it's anything as even an ant. Every single sort of everything. I wouldn't go too Buddhist with it because listen, if I see a spider, I'm killing it. Okay? Although I would say lately I have not been killing the tarantulas. Yes, we have very large, like if you look at your hand right now, we have tarantulas. We have this contraption where I will save the tarantula and I will just move it out of the way. But I do believe in spirit animals and spirit communication. And although I can't communicate with animals like that, I think that just their presence sometimes can signify something. And we don't have to go too deep into it. Like, not everything has to mean something. But I think that it's really beautiful to believe in the beauty that is all around you. And if you decide that there is a sign there, then there's a sign for you. So I did look up roadrunner as a spirit animal and what qualities that the animal has. So for me, if I come across some sort of an animal that's in a weird way, I will be like, oh, that's definitely my spirit animal of the day, or maybe the theme of the week, or the theme of whatever's happening. Like today, the theme was dragonfly because I kept seeing dragonflies everywhere, so that was the theme of the day. But in this moment with the roadrunner, what I looked up was speed, agility, adaptability, resilience, courage, fearlessness, protection, guidance, wisdom, instincts. Like it will take the knowledge of all native people and look at it that way. But I told ChatGPT my story and I was like, "Hey, what could this mean on a spiritual level?" And it said, your message is meant for a specific audience, and you need to be direct. Roadrunners are swift and focused. Their appearance might be a sign that your song or the message within it is meant to be delivered quickly and without hesitation. It's not a time for dawdling. It's a call to action. What? Okay. Who needs me to sing to them? L is full. You know what other song? When I always get confused, that love song, the LOVE song, with now I'm forgetting. Anyway, you are being encouraged to trust your authentic voice. Okay. There is protection for your vulnerability. Okay. Singing is a vulnerable act. The Roadrunner's presence, especially given its role as a protector against evil spirits. What? In some traditions, hell yeah, could be a sign that you are protected in your vulnerability. Your creativity is safe and you should not be afraid to express yourself fully. I did not know that. Okay, hold on. I want to find out more information about that because that is brand new information to me. I'm literally reading this at the same time as you guys are hearing it. Hold on. That's right. Don't mess with me. Why? Because I got my Roadrunner, okay? Roadrunner. Imagine, imagine I just like snap my fingers and all the Roadrunners come out. They're like, do they make noises? I don't even know. Who knows? The Roadrunner is acknowledging your courage. Yeah. Its presence might be a nod to your bravery. Uh-oh. Did you know Andrea means bravery? That's what my name means. Encouragement, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Wow, I didn't know all of this. Hey, Roadrunner. How's it going? I know you can't see me wink, but that was my winking. That's so cool. Who knew that like a Roadrunner would have all this deep meaning? Oh, I like that. I like depth. I like that. I think when a person has a lot of depth, you know, when there's a really annoying person and like they're like, oh, I know about everything. Okay, great. But like, you know, when a person has like a lot of depth and they're like, oh, this could mean this, but they're not overly empathic when they're like, or empathetic, where they're like, oh, like too much with emotion. It's like a right balance. Am I making sense? Because that is how I feel a Roadrunner is. I'm super excited. I want my Roadrunner to come back. Anyway, wow. What animals? So, if you have seen any interesting animals in the last couple of days or weeks that kind of like really, you were like, whoa, what is that? I think you should take note. Take note, look it up, and then tell me what it was. And then see how in your life is it actually playing out? And like, do you need to call upon that animal for whatever it is? Like here it says it's just a lot about the context of I was singing and then it appeared. And because it's a courageous and vulnerable act, you are risking judgment, rejection, and ridicule. Hey, that's me every day, baby. That is me every day. But at this point, I'm like, okay. I have this book here called Animals of the Soul, Sacred Animals of the Oglala Sioux by Joseph Epis Brown. And we just happened to turn to this page. Okay. They're talking about how music and communicating with a certain animal can bring out the characteristics of, or the trait of that animal to the person receiving the vision, dream, or song, which I think is very cool. Here it says, music to them in its highest sense is connected with power and with communication with the mysterious forces that control all human life. Among these techniques for communication with power, one of the most powerful is song. And so they go on to talk about how you can receive these songs in a dream or in a personal way that is received directly from the bird or animal encountered. Wow, okay. Within such songs resided the particular power of the tutelary. What the hell? What does that word mean? Tutelary. I feel like I know what that is. Doesn't it mean like the person? Hold on. Okay, so I was thinking that the song or the word tutelary is from tutelage. Tutelary means serving as a protector, guardian, or patron, relating to protection or a guardian. Whoa. That's right. Roadrunner police. What is this? This is awesome. In many of these songs, the animal or bird states his own name, but he didn't do that. In singing the song, the singer would tend to conceive not only a contact with the animal's power, but an actual type of identification with the animal. Am I now a roadrunner? Beep, beep. Am I now? You're like, can you not do that? I have a book here that when we first moved to Arizona, we went to all these estate sales around town. And I just started any book that was like Native American based, anthropological based, anything about the culture or history of anything around here, I would get. Okay. So I have all these Native American books now. This one is called Animals of the Soul, Sacred Animals of the Oglala Sioux, which is the tribe, Oglala Sioux. It's by Joseph Epis Brown. And we just happened to turn to this page. That's my old-timey voice. And the page that I'm reading from, it's talking about how receiving songs from an animal, what that means, okay? But this is to this tribe, and this is the book that I have. So this is what we're going with. Music to them in its highest sense is connected with power and with communication with the mysterious forces that control all human life. Among these techniques for communication with power, one of the most powerful is song. One example, the dream song, very personal and sacred to the possessor. It's believed to have been received directly from a bird or animal, encountered in a vision or directly in the presence. Within such songs resided the particular power of the tutelary. In many of these songs, the animal or bird states his own name, which the bird did not do that. In singing the song, though, the singer would tend to conceive not only a contact with the animal's power, but an actual type of identification with the animal. And let me look up tutelary, because I feel like tutelage, but I could be wrong. Tutelary, serving as a protector, guardian, or patron, relating to protection or a guardian. Okay. Whoa. Well then. Don't mess with me. I got my roadrunners. No. Wow. That's interesting. In singing the song, the singer would tend to conceive not only a contact with the animal's power, but an actual type of identification with the animal. Alrighty then. Have any of you ever got a weird, not a weird, but like have any of you ever had an experience like this? If so, write in. Now, I used to work in Manhattan, across the street from Wall Street. And we were very serious, because we did all legal PR. So we're very, very serious people. Until the door closed and I just had lots of jokes. And we would do the interviewing, we would do the hiring, and we would bring in new associates. We would also do interns, stuff like that for different seasons. My number one question, this is my question, this was my go-to question. And I would always get in trouble for it, but I don't care. This is the question I want to know. If I have to work with you, I want to know what this is, okay? What's your spirit animal? We would have people have like the most impressive interview and then completely crumble under this question. Why? Because they're so analytical, they're so logical. Then you would get thrown this strange question, which you had to now be a little creative or think outside the box or actually show a personality. And just, there were so many people that were like in the spot, in the moment, like, I didn't prepare for this. That's fine. Who is your spirit animal? Is there an animal that you enjoy? Like, what's your favorite animal? And we got some very interesting answers in the past. We've gotten, the one was, she loved whales. This one woman loved whales. She just was very passionate. She knew facts. She had facts, okay? She was like, this is what they do, this and this, and that's and that. And it just so happened, she doesn't know this, that when I went to college, I learned about the evolution of whales, because you have to learn about the evolution of whales and how they're actually related to wolves. And she doesn't know that I know this, but she just had all these facts about whales that I already knew about. And I was like, But she just was spot on. And I was like, okay, she's a very smart woman, very smart. What else? One time, okay, so let me tell you the people that we didn't hire. We did not hire people that, like, as soon as they said that, like, no, we can't hire them. Absolutely not. And they'd be like, Andrea, why not? Did you hear their spirit animal answer? Someone said a house cat. Garfield? Garfield. No, we can't hire you. Sorry. You can, what? Gonna be eating lasagna all day? Someone said a mouse. I didn't even have to say no. When she said mouse, my coworker, like the person I was hiring with, she looked at me and she was like, no. And after we started getting bad answers, that's when we started actually using the who's your spirit animal, because it allowed us to understand what their personality would be like under fire, right? Because in PR, in a very high pressured, empowered job, you are on. If you mess up, you mess up, right? So if you're going to be thrown a very strange question that you haven't prepared for, and you give us a weird answer, the amount of time it would take to train you would be just too much. So once this one woman was like, a mouse, my coworker was like, I love this question. We're going to be implementing it into our hiring practices from now on, because I cannot have people coming in saying they're mouses and house cats. What? This other person, I asked him, I got a bad feeling about him anyway. And I was like, oh, who's your spirit animal? And he was like, a fox. He looked like a fox. His face, not like, oh, his foxy, like his face actually looked like a fox, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, no, we're not hiring him. 'Cause once I told another coworker, I was like, he said he was going to be a fox. And they were like, oh, no, we can't trust him instantaneously. So remember, like, who is your spirit animal? I would have never said roadrunner. That's for sure. I don't think the roadrunner is my spirit animal. I think that it is my, right now, I guess I'm under the tutelage of, or tutelary of the roadrunner. I don't understand. But yeah, what is your spirit animal? I think that's a really good question to ask. It helps us understand your personality. It helps us understand, yeah, mostly about your personality and what you think about yourself in the animal kingdom. And there were so many people that would say lion. So everybody would say, everybody says lion, lion. Okay. Once I started hearing that, I was like, okay, we know you're going to say lion. Okay. What is the other question? Like, what is the, like, give me a secondary animal then. And then the secondary animal would be the actual animal, right? The first animal would be the one that they think you want to hear, but then the secondary animal is the. So oftentimes we would have people that gave their answer be a little perturbed, upset that they were even asked such a kind of an question on Wall Street. How dare you ask me this? Do you know where I went to school? Honey, I don't care where you went to school. Let me see this resume. What have you done? That's impressive. Let me see. Oh, I'm going to ask you any question I want. Okay? We would get some people in there who were really mad about this question. I'm not kidding. And they would always turn the table back on me and they would say, oh, yeah? What kind of animal are you? Like to kind of be like, like, I said lion. Well, you're not creative. And my coworker, she would just look at me. She would look at me and be like, here she goes. You think I'm going to come into this boardroom without an answer? Are you out of your mind? Come on. This is how you know who I am. Why, of course, I'd be the North American bald eagle, a bird of prey, the sea eagle. You can't look at money. You can't touch money without looking at me. That's exactly what I would say to them. Please leave your resume at the front desk. And their faces, their faces. Oh, it was priceless. It was priceless when you have people come in who really just think whatever they think about themselves. And they really are just trying to put you in a place that, honey, I don't know where you're trying to put me. But we're about to find out real quick where you can't. Okay? And when I said that to them, she, it was really good. It felt good. It felt good each and every time. I won't even lie. I'd do it again. I'd do it again. And every single time that I said it and did that, especially like the ones who were just really like competitive, they sat back in their chair and they would be like, that's a good answer. I'm taking that one. You can have that answer, but you can't have this job. That's for sure. See you later. Connect with me on LinkedIn. After a while, I only used the eagle one when just really the worst people were in front of me, or like people that were trying to put me in a place just like, who do you even think you are? Please stop. Sometimes I just get creative and say just really random things. Or I just try to spice it up because I knew that my coworker knew what I was going to say. So I would just try to play off of something she would say. And I just, every time I just change it up to something like ridiculous. Well, that's a wrap for this episode number 8. Is this number 8? I recorded this episode over the last week or so. So this was actually going to have the hunting wives in it. Just because, get it, like animals, animal kingdom, hunting wives, it all just kind of blends together, makes sense. But this is a really long episode and I don't feel like editing it anymore. Maybe we'll discuss it next time. I mean, I had some good things in there. I had some good things you are going to want to hear. You're going to want to come back and you're going to want to hear it because I really get into it with this one. Remember to like, follow, comment, share, tattoo this podcast name to your body. Okay. And maybe we'll give you a t-shirt. But you can now find us on TikTok, all 2 of our videos, promo videos. We have not moved over to video segmenting yet, but we are now doing some light marketing, okay? And we do have some special guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. We have been filming furiously, okay? And everyone, as a special guest, said, I don't want to be on camera. What the hell? So we will be having very interesting episodes. And in fact, we will be releasing 2 episodes a week. I know I said last time, hey, we're going to release an episode every minute, but I'm being very serious because we have so many recordings at this point. It's like, I got to just edit this stuff. So make sure to come back. Follow us on TikTok. Send this to your friends. Like, comment, share. We also have an email, so you can go to the show notes and send us beautiful love letters. Send us poems, love letters. And it has to be addressed to me about a rhino. You are my rhino. Hello, YABANGA. Have a good time until I see you again. Bye.